So successful has been the track and field program at the National Stadium. The athletes may not want to leave it, but sadly that day is fast approaching. Welcome to the penultimate session of athletics and to the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. It's great to have you with us on an evening when the weather once again could serve up anything, but this is a hot track even when it's wet, and we have some great finals to look forward to. We'll kick it off with some long jump, shot put and javelin, and then we'll hit the track with a 1500 final. Well, theories abound about why so many records have fallen here. Perhaps it's simply a general lift in standard right across the board.
Absolutely, it's been a remarkable competition, a remarkable Paralympics so far on the track. And why so many world records? Well, it's 5 years since Rio, so that's 5 years more training. I think we've seen the evolution of the sport, more countries investing in their Paralympians, which is fantastic to see, but also technology, and that is always going to be a part of sport. There's been a lot of discussions for those athletes who these days still wear conventional shoes within the parasport movement, what they're calling technological doping these days with the carbon fibre plates, but that is about pushing the boundaries of performance, isn't it? So I think you factor all of those things in, is why we are seeing world records, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more tonight.
Even if it's raining. We've seen it on the track, it doesn't seem to matter at all, but it does matter in some of the standing throwing events where the circle is a quite slippery cement surface intended primarily for dry competition, but when it's wet, and certainly the athletes train in these conditions, they are finding it challenging to stay stable.
Yeah, as we just have a look at that schedule for tonight, so it will be the men's long jump T20, and then of course we move into the 1500 metre. Looking forward to those 200 metre races, some wonderful heats and semi-finals earlier today. Look, just going back to your point regarding the circle, yeah, look, it's no different than bike riding. They're going to have to make some adjustment in the footwear that they are using. I think most of these athletes at this level have had probably similar conditions at some point in their competition lives. And the nice thing is that the circle, particularly for the discus, the shot put, well, it's pretty much an international standard worldwide.
Yeah. And the rain has started to fall. That was the forecast. We was here during the afternoon between sessions, and it was pretty dry. Lots of the volunteers and staff who have made these games so successful are getting group photos and so on in good weather. But unfortunately, as the local bureau has predicted, the rain has come. That's all right. What a stadium it is. So light rain predicted, high humidity, and the wind has been a non-factor right from the start. Even when it was hot for the first 5 days and then the rain came, zero wind for the athletes to deal with. And that's played its part, I suppose, in some of these stellar performances. Some flags fluttering at the top of the stadium there, but it's just swirling around there. It's not down at ground level to any great effect.
Well, I think the men in the 1500 T38 final, which is to come shortly, will probably be happy that the mercury is not rising, that it is a nice comfortable 22 degrees. Those may be the running 200 metres. Well, as we've talked about with the throwers, they will need to make some adjustments with the water on the track, particularly out of the block. So, but all of those things, I'd imagine, as I've said, that they would have visualised that, they would have gone through it, they'd be talking to their coaches about those little adjustments.
And the athletes do get the chance before the session starts. The throwers and jumpers have been out having a bit of a warm-up test of their particular competition area. So you can see in the circle there that it's cement, unlike the running and track surface. And then, of course, we've got this beautiful grass that's central to the stadium where a lot of football gets played when there aren't Paralympic or Olympic Games happening.
I just love some of the innovations we've seen in some of the throwing events. We've seen athletes actually throw in socks.
Yes.
And each to their own. Everyone's going to have a slightly different way of doing it. There's not necessarily a right or wrong.
That is, of course, the long jump pit, which has got darker with colour as the more and more rain we get, and it looks a bit like wet cement. And these vehicles are being used to ferry the discus and javelin here and there. Here it goes. Ouch. No, it's all right. There's nobody in there.
Wonderful innovation, wonderful technology. And again, just looking at that session schedule. So that long jump final, that should be an absolute cracker. The men's shot put, remarkable upper body strength there. And then, as we alluded to, finding out who the fastest women in the world are over 200 metres across the varying categories, and including that 100 metres right at the end as well. What a way to finish with the women's T63 100. Looking forward to that.
Get a glimpse, top of your screen there, these wooden beams that are such a feature of this beautiful stadium. Rebuilt after 2015. Had its moments of controversy about the architecture, the engineering and the ultimate design. But having been here the last 10 days, it's fantastic. It's not too big. Sure, we haven't had crowds, but as a venue, I can see its strengths, and there are many.
Done a remarkable job with the colours of the seats too, to give that impression of the crowd. And certainly some nights and some of the day sessions, even with a small crowd in here, once the noise does get going in the stadium, such are the acoustics, you do feel like there is a good solid crowd in here.
Anyone with accreditation who might have finished their competition and hasn't been obliged to get out of the country, they'll come here this evening if they can, particularly if they've got athletes in finals. So the men's long jump T20, not far away. It's due to start top of the clock. We're moving towards 7 p.m. local time. And Romley of Malaysia holds the world record. Pleased to say he's in the field, so we're going to get to see him jump. Field of 12, in fact, and a good spread of nations as always. And, Japan, Mauritius, the Netherlands, Hong Kong, Australia, Croatia, Greece, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Ecuador, our Malaysian favourite, and Brazil's Oliveira Diaz will go up last.
Oh, I love the NBA intros. I love the NBA intros. This is where you see the personality of the athletes.
Kokubo Kanta of Japan, the 22-year-old with a personal best of 6.88. They've all got to come up with some kind of move, don't they?
And I'm going to mark them out of 10.
Eddie Kaptor of Mauritius. Very modest entry.
Jumping at 3, the world champion for Netherlands.
Frankie Oberoi won the 2019 World Championships with a leap of 7.39. Could be a good rival for Romley.
Paralympic debut for Hong Kong.
Nikki Tang, 7th at the Asian Para Games in 2018.
Jumping at 5, 5th in Rio for Australia.
Coming out of Melbourne, 5th place in Rio, Nicholas Hum.
Jumping at 6, 5 times a major silver.
From Zagreb, Croatia, Zoran Talic.
Zoran Talic. Next, the European silver medalist.
Well, the Greeks have a good pedigree in long jump. Athanasios Prodromou
Athanasios Prodromou.
can jump 7.05.
An 8 on Paralympic debut for Saudi Arabia.
Not too much known about Hassan Doshi's form, but he brings a personal best of 6.49.
Jumping at 9, the world bronze
From
medalist
Ecuador, Roberto Chala Espinoza, 3rd at the Worlds 2 years ago.
Jumping at 10, the world
And here he is, Abdul Romley, won in Rio, jumping 7.60, twice a world champion.
and finally at his second Paralympics for Ecuador.
Damien Carcelen Delgado,
Damien Carcelen Delgado.
best of 6.60.
11 athletes heading for the back straight for the men's
And it looks
long
like Oliveira Diaz has dropped out of the field. So just 11, not 12.
Well, one of the real challenges for these athletes too is the Paralympics itself, so much greater than the sum of its parts. You know, you get a lot of athletes competing at World Cup level, at Diamond League meets, at national events. But what you've got to factor in now is the opening ceremony, the fact they live in villages, the media scrutiny, and tonight it's the athlete that can handle those peripheral things.
So the joy of competing at home. So from Fukaya comes Kokubo Kanta. Not starting off as one of the middle favourites, but perhaps he can make a nonsense of the form. He's got a best of 6.88. and did pick up a silver medal in Jakarta in 2018. Well, that's near a personal best straight off. This is what we're seeing time after time, Mark. It's great joy here.
That's wonderful, and what a way to start for the home nation. That is fantastic. Personal best of 688 coming in, and look at that. Just gets beautiful pop off the board.
He loves it. Oh, he's broken 7 meters for the first time in his life. That's a barrier to break through. And what a start to our evening. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you might be watching. We know we've got millions of people around the world enjoying these Paralympics. Something to watch and enjoy in these difficult times. Eddie Capdor from Mauritius. Had a top 10 finish at the 2019 World Championships. I wonder if he can take some inspiration out of what he's just seen from the first competitor. Oh, no, he didn't like that. He was a bit hesitant on his run-up, something not to his satisfaction, and he bailed out.
Yeah, just need to make just a slight adjustment to that. Just a bit of visualization.
That's all right. He's got 2 more jumps to try and get the timing. See if he can feature in the second lot of 3 jumps. But now from the Netherlands, there's a pocket of Dutch supporters over there in their orange tracksuits. Rankie Oberoi from Rotterdam was 5th in Rio. 7 meters, not generally a problem for him. 7:39, his career best. Oh, he's hit the board well, as long as it's fair. And it is. Maybe not quite 7 meters. He looked a bit shy of that mark.
Yeah, boy, he got that timing off that popping board almost. What precise, really good first up jump.
Oberoi, yeah, 660, so there's plenty of room for improvement for him. Now from Hong Kong, Nicky Tang. 13th at the 2015 Worlds, 15th 2 years ago, and 6:47 his career best. Marches forward to his position. Oh, he's well behind the board, unfortunately, so he's let a few centimetres go there. But he's got a jump in the book at least.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a nice little nerve settler for him. I think a lot of these athletes sort of build up just to get that first jump underway. I think that'll just relax him, have a chat to his coach, and plenty of time left in this competition for him.
So the assistants are in the pit, just levelling things out, and a 5:74 for Tang. So when the pit's ready, looks like Nicholas Hum will be too. 28-year-old from Melbourne. 4 top 10s at World Championships, but no medals. He's also played some basketball at a decent level. Hum with a PB of 7:39. Let's see if he can push it out over 7 meters first up. Oh, he's just about there. And he had some room to spare as well.
Oh, huge room for improvement. He's got to be really, really happy with that first up jump, because he was quite a way behind the popping board on that. Yeah, plenty of speed. Great form. Really, really positive start from the Australian.
This is a T20, and this is an event for those athletes with an intellectual impairment. A great first up effort from Hum, just short of the 7-metre mark.
See, they've got Australian record come up too, so very good jump from the Australian.
Oh, we can see that the rain is fairly significant.
I think the big factor will just be staying warm between jumps.
Well, there is some shelter erected at the top of the runway for the long jumpers. Men's Javelin F41. Ahmed Nas of Iraq owns the world record at 38.90. He'll be up third in the field of 8 nominated for this event. Navdeep of India. And from Côte d'Ivoire, we have Ye. Nas is their third. Iran, actually 3 throwers from Iraq, which is interesting.
Let's meet them first of all.
Let's get them out there.
For India.
Just 20 years of age is Navdeep. And a personal best of 43.58, so he could be a contender. Carmichael on the south coast of West Africa is Côte d'Ivoire.
the Asian champion for Iraq.
Second in London, 9th in Rio, Ahmed Nas.
Throwing a 4 on Paralympic debut for Iran.
Sadej Bayat Sayar,
Sadeh Bayat Sayar.
best of 33.50.
Throwing a 5, the defending champion for Iran.
Kovan Abdul Rahim, one in Rio with a throw of 42.85.
Next is the European silver medalist for Croatia.
From the city of Zadar in Croatia, Vladimir Gaspar.
Next for China, 3 times a world champion.
Well, this could be the man to beat. Sun Pengxiang
Sun Pengxiang.
from Ordos in Inner Mongolia. And with a best of 44.35, he brings the longest PB. And the third man from Iraq also with a best of over 43 metres. It's pretty significant rain we've got right now. Now Zoran Talic, twice a silver medalist, Rio and London. Oh, he smiles behind the board, and he knows it, of course.
Yeah, just never really got the timing on that run out. You could just see that slight little stutter step, just lost that fluidity, and that speed on the runway just so important. Just that slight hesitation there, miles short.
That's right, time to correct it, and at least he completed a measurable jump.
Yeah, they do have the benefit, and this is great. I love to watch the coaches just seeing the animation, the different styles in terms of their leadership. It's theatre in itself.
Now Prodromou, Greek jumper from Thessaloniki, second at this year's European Championships. Oh, that's better contact on the board and well out past 7 metres. Bright start from Prodromou.
Yeah, great speed on the runway too. Boy, he's slightly unorthodox, but very effective with that run up.
This could be a jump to give him the early lead. And the 7.03. Yes, he's 2 centimetres further than Kokubo. of Japan. Now, Dorshi, we don't know much about the Saudi Arabian competitor, but we're glad he's here. He's 30 years old. Well, that's all right. That, according to what we're told is his personal best, that should beat it.
Well, there's a lot to like about this gentleman, Dorshi. Technically very, very good. Very orthodox.
You know, some of these athletes, Mark, from Middle East or Arab Emirates, that part of the world may not get to compete in much rain. There's some countries there where it barely rains at all.
I think sometimes there's a benefit too coming where you don't necessarily have the big reputation. I think you come with a lot more clarity. You've got nothing to lose, where when you've got that impressive CV, well, sometimes there's a bit of pressure that you put on yourself or that perhaps the media put on you.
We've got a shot put F33 as well. Malik's world record of 12:36. So it's all getting underway. This is a seated shot put class, Krupin of the Russian Paralympic Committee. See, the officials there are carefully watching any movement of the buttocks on the seat, and it can be called a foul if the officials aren't satisfied they've met the rules in that regard. And 11:21 there, and that's a great throw from Krupin. He's the first competitor up, and he has all 6 of his throws in a row, as you may well be aware by now. And we're going to move across to the track. Looking forward to this, Mark.
Absolutely looking forward to this. I always look forward to the 1,500 metres across any category, across any class. One of the real blue ribbon events, 3 3/4 laps of the track. And what a field this is, because we do have the world record holder, Nate Reich of Canada. That world record standing at 3:47.89. As we do go through that start list, Alberto Costello there. We've got Cry of Algeria, the world record holder there in Reich. 2 Australians in Daniel Bounty and Dion Kenzie. Keep an eye on Louis Rodius of France as well. Michael McKillop of Ireland, Liam Stanley of Canada, and we've got Hanauni Bouzidi of France as well. And here he is. The question is, where is his season format? Because of COVID, a lot of these athletes haven't had that opportunity to race. However, they've also had the benefit of not having a disrupted build-up as well. Really interesting to see how this race is run. It can be incredibly tactical, but I would have thought for the likes of Nate Wright, the world record holder, he'll want to take it out relatively quick, relatively fast, and put the pressure on early, send the rest of this field a message. As we just have a look there at Stanley of Canada, McKillop here of Ireland. So he won gold in Rio in 2016, so he's the defending champion. The Australian Dion Kenzie, silver in Rio back in 2016. So our gold and silver medalists next to each other. So Rodius of France, the bronze medalist from Rio. So all 3 medalists on the start line. The second of the Australians. He's a class act. Daniel Bounty out of the University of the Sunshine Coast. Nate Reich, current world champion, won that in Dubai back in 2019, world record holder. The Algerian Cray. And he was second at the World Championships back in Dubai in 2019. Castillo of Nicaragua, 27 years of age. He's more of a sprinter, comes from a 200-metre background. So if it's a slow pace, look out for the man from Nicaragua. 3 3/4 laps of the track. It is the men's 1,500-metre T38 final.
bit of unsteadiness on the inside there, I think, from Castillo.
Yeah, now T38 athletes with coordination impairments.
Just a general warning.
So some of these athletes suffering from cerebral palsy. The men's 1500 metre final is underway. And it will be immediately the Frenchman, Louis Radius, who wants to go to the front, set the pace. He wants to control things. He's happy running from the front, as so many athletes are. Reasonably steady too. You can just see this field being strung out early.
Kenzie making a move around to make sure he doesn't lose touch with this lead group of 3.
Yeah, interesting to see Bounty of Australia just happy to sit back, but they're going to want to try and close that gap up. They do not want that gap to open up too quickly. But good performance coming also from Daniel Bounty of Australia.
Stanley running a little wide for Canada in the red cap.
Yeah, you want to try and run on that pole line as much as you can. So we've got 4 runners who have already just put a little bit of a gap on the rest of this field. And now it's going to come down to a lot of concentration. Fairly even though. Nice piece of front running being done by Louis Radius of France, 41 years of age, 3rd in Rio. He'd love to go 2 better tonight, the Frenchman. But now we see the world record holder, Nate Reich. He wants to control things. He says enough is enough. I'm not going to be dictated to. I'm going to ask the questions of the rest of this field.
And Uni Bozidi, that is the first of the Frenchmen, I think, there. And we've got Kenzie deciding it's... Reich's getting a little bit too far away, but his move around the outside has initially failed. He's got to surge again.
25 years of age, Dion Kenzie, the silver medalist from Rio. But it is all of the Canadian at the moment. The man who comes in with a season's best of 3:47.89, which is also the world record. So in world record form and putting on a wonderful demonstration here. Tokyo 2020, day 11, Paralympic Games.
Well, he's really put a 30-metre gap on the chasers now, and it's Reich's to lose as long as he hasn't burnt too much petrol, and Kenzie sets out after him.
Well, this is a good move from Kenzie. He can't afford to leave it any longer now, the big Australian. He decides to make his move. He has gone around about 700 metres out, the Australian. Still a lap to go, but it is the current world record holder, Nate Reich, the 26-year-old from Canada. Cray of Algeria hangs tough, desperate to try and get himself a podium.
They're not making much of an impression on Reich. He's got the race in his control. He can look up at the big screen at the end and see just what kind of a lead he has.
Well, that is a very good run from the Canadian. You sort of sense now the rest of them are racing for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And at what point do they say perhaps that is good enough tonight? But Dion Kenzie of Australia is still giving everything he can, just hoping that the Canadian begins to fall apart. But looking at his form, he is in control. He knows that if he can just get through to that 1,300 metre mark, it'll just be about maintaining form.
Kenzie with a bit of a lead over 3rd, 4th and 5th. But can't see Reich losing it from here. He's holding his form well. He's extending his lead, if anything. And Kenzie's got to dig deep to make sure he holds on.
Well, it is Nate Reich. His nickname is Nate Dog. He's a communication specialist out of the University of South Alabama. And he's on his way to win himself a Paralympic gold medal to add to the world record. It is a dominant performance for the Canadian.
Kenzie struggling to hold on to 2nd here. He's going to get past.
Oh, a great run coming from the Algerian, Cray. A very good run indeed. But it is all Nate Reich of Canada. Dion Kenzie of Australia will win the bronze medal. But you want to see a dominant display of running? Well, we've seen it tonight. And a very good Paralympic record of 3:58.92. Abdul Krim Cray of Algeria, the silver. Dion Kenzie of Australia, the bronze medal. Well, you go back to 1974 at the Commonwealth Games in one of the great front-running displays by the great Philbert Bailly. Well, I tell you what, the Canadian tonight took a leaf out of his book and just said enough is enough.
That's Castillo. I think the shorter distances might suit him, as you suggested, Mark, and he's
well, the nice thing about Castillo is he's got good basic speed, so he's got 3 more years to Paris. Just go out there, do the miles, do a bit of speed maintenance, then you just don't know how quickly his improvement curve will come. But Nate Wright, 26 years of age, sets a new Paralympic record in testing conditions.
So Reich accepts the congratulations of his rivals. That genuine camaraderie we've witnessed right through the track and field program is still with us.
You just have a look at the little kick here, and he does it just with such ease. The good runners just make it look effortless.
That's the inside of the track is well washed. A little look over the shoulder. It's almost a lazy action, isn't it? There's not much of the arm pumping. It's he looks a natural runner.
Yeah, the good runners make it look easy, though, don't they? And I always say this: if you see an athlete in trouble, don't look at face expressions. Always look at the form of an athlete. And he at no point dropped his shoulders. We didn't see any head movement. Beautifully balanced. And at this level, well, they're not worried about world records. They come and go. It's the Paralympic gold medals last forever. And it is another one the way of Canada.
Well, they haven't had a super productive games, Canadians, with 4 gold medals coming into this evening. Actually behind New Zealand.
And just confirming those results for you, there you go. So new Olympic record, 358.92 goes to Nate Wright, who now holds the Paralympic record and the world record. And great to see Abdul Krim Krai of Algeria set a personal best of time of 4 minutes 3.07. Australia get themselves on the podium with Dion Kenzie.
So the F33 shot put. A bit of movement here as the athletes take their 6 throws. It's in the same frame. They all use that same seat. Durham now of Morocco, I beg your pardon, to go. And out towards that world record. That's a nice start from him. From Tangier, an 11.37, just a couple of centimetres short of his personal best.
Yeah, always nice in your first throw to put a really good number on the board, because, boy, I tell you what, it can intimidate those that have still got to come. And it does just start to own their mind a little bit.
Navdeep, as we take our first look at the Javelin, bounces up off the deck. 43.58 is his PB, so he's well short of that.
Certainly brings a lot of colour, doesn't he? He's got a lot of personality. He'll endear himself to this crowd if he continues to do that.
Bayat Sayar, Islamic Republic of Iran. Oh, that's well out past 40 metres. I cannot believe that his personal best is really 33.50, or he's been training the house down the last 18 months. Sometimes the right figures don't reach us.
Yeah, his release point looked really good on that throw too, and it's just getting that combination, isn't it, between horizontal and vertical. We talk about putting a good number on early. I think you'll be pretty happy with this.
He sent the official scampering backwards. It's a massive PB for him. Nearly 42 metres.
It's hard when you throw a personal best and then you go back to your coach and go, what do I need to do?
Yes, that's it. Well, here is someone who's used to going over 40, Sun Peng Shan. third in Rio. Oh, wait a minute. What's he thrown here?
Well, it says world record. We'll have to wait. Oh, look at that. Just gets that hip and shoulder rotation. That release point's great. That is a very good throw.
2019 World Championships. And a 45-metre throw.
So
unbelievable. It's his own world record he's broken. Mikalawi. So confirming 45.82 it was for Sun Pengsheng. He's broken his world record by 1.5 meters.
Unbelievable in these conditions too.
This is what we've been seeing. This is what's extraordinary about these Paralympics. More resources, more popular, greater depth, as you've said.
But also, I think too, what we call periodisation, peaking at the right time of the year. They haven't had a lot of the lead-in events, so they've been able to focus just on one major event. And sometimes it gets tricky when you start targeting World Championships, Paralympics in the same year. But now it is the women's 200-metre T11, those athletes with a visual impairment. Always a wonderful race, the 200s, as we look at that world record. 24.39, Lu Qijing of China. She's in this field tonight as we do give the big rousing introductions. So Linda Patricia Perez-Lopez coming out, 5th in Dubai at the 2019 World Championships. And she'll have Alvaro Louis Gassini Herrera as her running. And here she is, the world record holder, Lu Qijing of China. Also world champion over 400 metres. And silver medal from Rio. And it is Jerusa Gerbo dos Santos. And the silver medalist from Rio. Second of the Brazilians, Thalita Simplicio da Silva. So 4 runners with their guides. This is about understanding. This is about a long time in developing that relationship. A lot of pressure on the guides. And of course, for these athletes with the visual impairment, it is running the bend. And how do they approach that strategically? So Libby Clegg of Great Britain holds the Paralympic record of 24.51, set in Rio de Janeiro 5 years ago. And Lu Qijing of China, that world record.
The Brazilians have a very strong program for their visually impaired runners. They do so well here. Lu will take some beating.
So the 2 Brazilians will start in lanes 3 and 5. Linda Perez-Lopez of Venezuela will start in 1. And Qijing of China will start in lane 7. As we have now have a look at Simplicio da Silva. Jerusa Gerbo dos Santos. Silver in London, 3rd in Beijing. Perez-Lopez, 5th at the World Championships in 2019. So 5th in the 400, so we know she's strong. Eyes will be on the Chinese athlete, Lu Qijing, who will start in lane 7. Keep an eye on that world record, 24.39. We are set for a start in the women's 200-metre T11 final. Day 11, Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games. These athletes looking to etch their name into the history books. And we are underway in the T11 200, and immediately we do see Qiu Jing of China just exploding out of the blocks in that outside lane. But good challenge also coming on her inside from Simplicio de Silva of Brazil as they come into the last 75 metres now. Very close. It is the Brazilian at the moment, Simplicio de Silva, who has the narrowest of leads. But here comes the Chinese athlete. We'll have to throw a blanket over it at the finish line. Who gets that one? I think it might have gone the way of Thalita Vittoria Simplicio de Silva. If it is the case, it'll be one of the great upsets. What a remarkable 200 metres. We will have to go to the photo for the official results.
They don't know. Lou looked to have it, but Simplicio de Silva surged again.
Well, at the moment, they've gone the way of Lou Qiu Jing. In fact, at the moment, both athletes have been giving 24.94 seconds. So the photo will separate them. Jerusa Gerber dos Santos, the other Brazilian, will pick up the bronze. We know that.
Well, they must have gone to the thousandths.
Boy, how close was that?
Both 24.94.
It's interesting. Lou Qiu Jing got away to a good start, but just didn't run the bend that well. And it was Gerber dos Santos of Brazil who just made her move.
You weren't here the other day, Mark, when we actually had a marriage proposal between the Côte d'Ivoire guide and runner.
Just have a look here. So really good start from all the athletes. Fairly even through that first 50 metres. Here they're up to full speed. It's about running this bend right. So hard technically to do. And here we go. At this point, it is Gerber dos Santos of Brazil there in the middle of the track. And then the surge from Lou Qiu Jing. And on the line, I'd like to have a look at that photo. I'd like to have a look at that photo because I tell you what, I'm still convinced that possibly the Brazilian got there. All of our technology is telling us that Lou Qiu Jing has done it. As we just have a look. Wow. Have a look at that.
Yeah, they've made the right call in the end. A good dip from Lou.
That is remarkable running.
Oh, what a race. More of this, please.
The technology, unbelievable. The human eye, though, very difficult to pick that one up. Great performance, great race.
And of course, the guide has to be careful to make sure the athlete crosses first. So Lou's guide will just pull back a fraction here as Lou gets to the line and dip, he says, in Mandarin, of course. And she did. What timing.
Well, world record holder, now Paralympic champion. To go with the silver that she won in Rio, but the gold that she won in the 400. So there you go. They've had to go to 1/1000th of a second to separate it. So officially both given the same time at 24.94. But it is Lou Qiu Jing of China.
Not many of our camera angles are showing it, but it's absolutely throwing it down at the moment. So we'll go back out to the long jump and the T20. Here's Romley of Malaysia and came in as favourite. And the world record holder and Paralympic record holder. Oh, and we're getting a sense of why.
But he's just got that body type, hasn't he? Tall, rangy figure. Great speed. Well short of the popping board too. Great height. Just maintains that momentum all the way through the jump.
Well, they're feeling a bit aggrieved, the Malaysian team, after one of their throwers was disqualified for turning up a couple of minutes late the other night, and very upset. But Romley might help to make good with a 7.26. He's clearly in front. Kokubu of Japan started the competition with a lovely PB of 7.01. Oh, he might have been long. That was very close to the edge. Oh, they've called it fair. Must be only just. He took all of the board.
Got to say too, just human eye again, it just at times very hard to pick up, but boy, he's just got lovely speed down that runway. He's just so aggressive. Just brings that head up at the right time.
And a 6.83.
And we'll move from the field events back to the second of our 200-metre finals tonight. Those athletes with a visual impairment, not as quite as severe as those, the T11, but the T12 is a visual impairment category. And just having a look at that world record of 23.03 from Omara Durand Elias. And here we go, the introductions. So 400-metre bronze medalist from here, Alejandro Palo Perez Lopez. And next it will be Anna Kulinch Sorokina, 29 years of age, comes in with a personal best of 24.73. And here is the world record holder and the defending Paralympic champion, Omara Durand Elias, 29 years of age. And then it will be Oksana Oturachuk, 36 years of age, personal best of 23.65. So all eyes will be in lane 3 on the defending champion, the world record holder, Omara Durand Elias of Cuba.
Get a sense of the rain there. You look across to lane 1 where there's a bit of casual water, if you like, and the raindrops hitting hard and frequently.
Yeah, it's going to make it tough, isn't it, for these athletes with a visual impairment, just with those guides, also with the wet, making sure they got the right spike selection. Probably go slightly longer tonight, but also particularly running the bends. But she's a quality athlete. Omara Durand Elias. Can she go close to her own world record of 23.03? She set that in Doha, but it also equaled the Paralympic record that she set in Rio de Janeiro when she won this 5 years ago. So Oksana Oturachuk. As we then have a look at Alejandra Palo Perez Lopez, who will start in 1. So set for a start in the final of the women's 200 metres T12. Oh, very good clean start from Oksana Oturachuk in lane 5 from the Ukraine. Now all eyes go back into lane 3 from Omara Durand Elias. And it is the Cuban, the defending champion, the world record holder, just explodes into the home straight. It's daylight between herself and second place. Oksana Oturachuk, it's silver at the moment. but it will be back-to-back gold medals for Durand Elias of Cuba comfortably. And then it'll go the way of Oksana Botachuk, the silver medal, Anna Kulinch Sorokina, the bronze. And let's have a look at that time, 23:02. It is a new world record, another world record on the track. And isn't she delighted? What a performance.
She won that by so much. That was like she was in a different category. Durand Elias, she and her guide, Uniol Kinderland Vargas, they have such good synchronicity. They are a perfect pair for this kind of race. The understanding, you just think about the amount of training that goes into an event like this. You've got to run stride for stride.
Well, the scary thing is these are not world record conditions. This was done in the wet, but also really good performance from Oksana Botachuk, who ran a season's best and finishing second in a time of 24.48. And Anna Kulinich Sorokina, the bronze medal, who also ran a season's best of 24.85. And you've got a feel for Alejandro Paulo Perez Lopez, who finished fourth but ran a personal best in doing so. Just have a look at the speed, though, coming off the bend here. Let's get those arms going. No upper body movement whatsoever. And that is one of the most dominant displays you'll see on the track over 200 metres.
That's a massive margin for a 200. That's class, though.
Tell you what, you've got to be a very, very good athlete to be a guide, because they're not mucking around at this level. There we go, that new world record, witnessing history here. Tokyo 2020.
They get floor managed down there around that sign if there's a world record or Paralympic record. And you think the guides are significantly taller than Durand Elias, and he's got to match her stride. His left leg goes up when her right leg rises, and look at the synchronicity there. That's something to behold.
Well, it's like watching the diving competition where you see them in their pairs. You like some of the teams you see at the gymnastics. That is just the timing and the understanding between both of them. That is remarkable. But we're talking small percentages, and that new world record, well, the former world record was 23:03, and that new world record 23:02. There you go, confirming those results for you. Durand Elias of Cuba, defending the gold medal that she won 5 years ago.
Action again at the long jump. Field of 11 sorting itself through, and Nicholas Hum, after a 6.95 opening jump. Let's see if he can get past that elusive 7 metres. He's done it before. Oh, that's a jump. He likes it, I think.
The white flag goes up. Now it's a time of just sitting back and waiting, but they know if they've had a good jump, they'll get a sense of it.
Yeah, he took all of the board here. Left nothing to spare.
Yeah, great leg extension right at the end of that jump too there. He just kicks out. Beautifully done from the Australian. That's a really good number that he's about to put up.
Yeah, 7.09, and into second position goes Nicholas Hum of Australia. He's behind Romley, the Malaysian, but here's someone who can get past 7 as well. Prodramou, in fact, did so with his first. Notice in the middle of his run there, his head sort of starts to lift. He gets ready to take off, and he's got pretty solid technique and a lot of upper body strength as well. So Prodramou, 7.02, but he's been passed and moved down the standings to third. Here's our man, Romley, 7:26 to open with. Has a PB of 7:64, which is the world record in this class. Still the rain falls. And Romley sets off. Oh, he's not far from his world record.
Well, I think he's chasing that world record because just how much damage has he done to his opponent psychologically with the first two jumps we've seen from this man. Remarkable.
He's a cheerful jumper, isn't he? He's got out of the pit with a big smile on his face.
Yeah, plenty of height then too.
A little glance at the board.
There's just so many parts of the jump too from the moment they take those first steps. So the coach is there. It's their job to just take that guesswork out. One can have an impact on the other. So it's all sort of about sequence. And we're about to bring you another of our women's 200-metre finals tonight. This is the T47. And it is a full field. Castillo, the world record holder at 24.45. That was set way back in London as we now introduce the athletes for you. And it will be Li Lu of China, 26 years of age, bronze medalist from Rio.
Li Lu. In lane 9, the European champion for Serbia.
Saska Sokolov, 26 years of age, personal best of 25.51.
In lane 3, the world champion for USA.
And the current world champion,
DJ Young.
DJ Young of the United States, 25 years of age.
400 meters champion, RPC athletes.
Now she's the 400-meter European champion, Soloveva, 24 years of age.
In lane 4, the Rio silver medalist for Poland.
Silver medalist in Rio 5 years ago, Alicia Jeremin of Poland.
100 meters gold medalist for Venezuela.
100-meter gold medalist from Venezuela, Vera Andrade,
Lisbeth Vera Andrade.
19 years of age. What a future she has.
100 meters silver medalist here for USA.
And Brittany Mason, she's already won a silver medal in the 100.
Brittany Mason.
23 years of age. She comes in with a season best of 25.14.
Gold medalist here for South Africa.
The 400-meter champion from Tokyo 2020 out of South Africa, Arun Veyers, 28 years of age.
The T47 category with the athletes having an arm impairment, upper limbs affected by limb deficiency or impaired muscle power. Aruna Veyers is having a good games for South Africa.
Yeah, this could be an absolute beauty. You've got athletes who are specialists over the 100 metres. We've got athletes who are specialists over 400 metres. And we're just beautifully stuck between, aren't we? That difference between pure speed, but also just requiring a little bit of strength. All eyes will be on Brittany Mason in lane 5 of the United States. Jeremin of Poland will start in 4. Veyers of South Africa in 6 as we have a look at Sokolov of Serbia. And then Vera Andrade will start in 7. Veyers will start in lane 6. There is Brittany Mason. Jeremin of Poland. Young of the United States. And Li of China.
On your mark.
Set for a start. Final of the women's 200 T47. And we are underway. Good clean start from all the athletes. But as expected, it is Brittany Mason of the United States in the middle of the track, but her fellow countrywoman too, also starting to take it to her. Daisy Young, but look out. Somewhat of an upset on the cards, is it? It's all happening out here on the outside lanes, and it will be Vera Andrade. And it is Vera Andrade who takes this 200-metre final from Venezuela in a time of 24.52. Brittany Mason, the United States, the silver. And then it will be Alicia Javelin of Poland who will win the bronze medal. But what a performance from the Venezuelan.
Well, she ran a brilliant bend. Those of South Africa was just not in it. She made a poor start and couldn't do much about it after that, as the Venezuelan just basically took off.
Yeah, brilliant second half.
And a personal best there, 24.52 for Vera Andrade.
Good start coming from Day Young of the United States as well. As we have a look at this, just keeps her head down nice and still, gets herself up to speed, then just starts to lift that head. And then it is the American just on her inside, Daisy Young, who had that lead through the first 100 metres, but then Lisbelli, Vera Andrade.
I was expecting the stagger to help the runners on the inside a bit more, but Vera Andrade out in lane 7 has run a perfect race.
Well, we talk about too the fact that a lot of these athletes haven't had a lot of competition coming in there, so therefore a lot of the historical data that we do have actually maybe doesn't necessarily have that much relevance, because coming in here, now she'd been third at this year's World Championships, she'd been third in the 400 metres, but she didn't have that big number next to her name that some of the athletes had. But she creates her own little slice of history and winning that 200-metre final. There we go, personal best for our first 3 medalists. Lisbelli, Vera Andrade, Brittany Mason, and Alicia Javelin of Poland. What a night on the track.
Pretty busy in the field as well. This is the Javelin. F41. Drove about 43 metres there for Baetsaya, a man from Iran.
What athletes want to see is they just want to keep building on that momentum, keep improving, just off those little subtle adjustments. And there we go, that's a great thing. So if you're plotting on the graph, it's going up. So another personal best.
Abdul Rahim of Iraq. Strong presence of Iraq in this final with 3 competitors. Abdul Rahim, PB of 42.85.
He never really had the momentum on the run-up, did he? Just lost it.
Yes, he slowed a bit too quickly before the throw.
You just have a look here, yeah, just too much of a stutter in there. You've got to be fluid. You know, most people think that it comes from the arms, but it's actually just getting that rotation, and that comes from the speed on the runway.
37.19. Sun Pengxiang, world record with his first throw of 45.82. It was his world record, he betted. And again, out towards the 45 metres. He's got a 2-metre lead at the moment.
You just wonder when you throw a world record in your first throw, how much urgency there is in those other throws, and whether that, as much as you're concentrating, you sort of still know in the back of your head, look, you know what, I've just thrown a world record, I've probably got this gold medal wrapped up.
What we've seen in the throwing events is, as you say, they're either won at the start or at the end. Someone comes up with, pops out a big throw, and the adrenaline's rushing right at the start. Nukailui.
Just still doesn't appear that comfortable with that run-up. Doesn't feel like he's quite in sync at the moment.
It's a 41.39 first throw, but not out past 40 subsequently for Nukailui. Yeah, he's a little dissatisfied with that. I think he knows before the coach opens his mouth a couple of the things he did wrong. Navdeep sitting out of the medals. Oh, that's his way, though. Shouldn't have worried. We've seen that before from him. He face plants, and then he's up before you can worry about him.
Yeah, unorthodox but effective for him. As I said, he'll endear himself to a lot of people here with his personality. Tell you what, it's been a very good Paralympics for the Indians as well. Tell you what, they're a sleeping giant of a nation, aren't they?
Got some very good high jumpers. We've enjoyed them here, that's for sure. $39.97. It's on the right trajectory.
Yeah, he's gradually improving. First of our medal ceremonies for the night.
Yes, that's an event from this morning that was not rounded out with the victory ceremony. And it was won by Ahmed Hindi of Jordan. And shot put F34, and it's got a good strong field of 10. And Ahmed Hindi, the eventual winner, took control of it with his first attempt. It was a 12.25 and a world record. Abdulrahman Fiki from Qatar, and Doha more specifically, was second in Rio with an 11.15. Today he threw an 11.36 and a season best. He was around 19 centimetres behind the silver medal and almost a metre behind the eventual winner, Hindi of Jordan. Big strong man though, broad shoulders that Fiki brings to this contest. Shot put F34 wheelchair event.
Silver medalist representing Morocco.
Azzedine Nuiri. 11.55 his best. And like our gold medalist, it was his first throw. Stand up the best.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Jordan. Ahmed Hindi.
No real surprise that Ahmed Hindi should win. He's the 2019 world champion. He threw 12.17. And 12.25 today to establish a new world record. He also won the Asian Para Games in Jakarta 2018 with a 12.07.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Jordan.
皆様、ヨルダン国歌の演奏です。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
皆様、パラリンピックメダリストです。
A little bit frustrating, I always feel, if you've got a field event that finishes a little bit late and then you've got to wait a few hours for your medal when you really want to get your hands on it.
I know, you've waited a lifetime for it, you've got all this emotion and you're just wanting to get it, hold it, and they're beautifully presented. Lovely lacquer little box they come in as well. And they're just such beautiful looking medals. What a wonderful moment for Jordan. That is just fantastic.
Quickly update you on the F-33 shot put, where Kamel Karjena of Algeria has moved.
Action continues in the long jump with Australia's Nicholas Hum. He's in medal contention, this man. Well, that's not his best of the day. It's fair, though. It's another one that counts.
Yeah, it's just such fine inches, isn't it? Just really never got any pop off that board. It's just a little bit short there. But he's already set an Australian record, a personal best.
Silver medal position at the moment. We're watching keenly the jumps of Abdul Romley. He's the world and Paralympic record holder. Defending champion.
Love to see him break a world record. I think everyone here would love to see him do it.
He looks the part. Oh, he quite likes that one.
I think he thinks if he can just get that takeoff just a little bit more precise, he's got a chance.
Now, 764, the world record. That is big jumping. So where's it going to come from?
I think the coaches deserve a medal sometimes. They live every jump with the athlete, don't they? And now we're going to bring you a really special moment for Canada, the medal ceremony for the men's 1500 metre T38. There he is, Nate Wright of Canada.
Accompanied by
続きまして、高橋美佐子
Tokyo 2020 Deputy Executive Director of International Relations and NOC NPC Services Bureau.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会国際局次長
Bronze medalist representing Australia,
銅メダリストオーストラリア
Dion Kenzie.
And your bronze medalist from Australia, 25 years of age. It was a silver in Rio back in 2016. It is a bronze medal here in Tokyo 2020. Adding to the long, illustrious list of great Australian athletes. Wonderful moment for Dion Kenzie.
Silver medalist representing Algeria,
銀メダリストアルジェリア
Abdelkrim Krai.
And your silver medalist goes to 24-year-old Abdelkrim Krai of Algeria. He won a silver medal in this event at the World Track and Field Championships in Dubai in 2019. But this one will be just that little bit more special. What a future he has. Outstanding performance today. Such a rich history in middle distance running Algeria.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Canada,
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンカナダ
Nate Reach.
So there he is, Nate Reich of Canada, 26 years of age, the current world champion over this distance, the current world record holder, and now Paralympic champion. He has all three. And the scary thing is he's just 26 years of age. And now the national anthem of Canada will ring out around the Olympic Stadium.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Canada.
皆様カナダ国歌の演奏です
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
皆様パラリンピックメダリストです
And wonderful camaraderie, great rivals on the track, great friends off it. Very much the spirit of Tokyo 2020.
Oh, absolutely. Just see it race after race, event after event. That they all know the training and sacrifices that they make. There's that mutual respect.
Well, I'll tell you, this man here has set such a standard that the rest of these athletes are going to have to go away with their coaches and say, right, how do we close the gap? What do we need to do? And that's what the good athletes do. They write a book everybody else has to read.
Now, Navdeep, as we go back to the F41 Javelin. Oh, that's a foul, and he doesn't know it yet. So, in crashing to the ground as he does, his leg has touched the line there. It's a little bit obscured by his shoulders, but the official on the far side saw exactly what happened. So a bit unfortunate for Navdeep.
And those athletes that are short in stature, it is about having to find ways of being able to get that extension, and therefore it is a lot more about throwing themselves around at times, and there is a danger in doing that.
Bayat of Iran.
I've got to say that run-up looked a lot better, much better run-up.
This could be a good one. You see the rain in these slow-mos, much easier to observe what kind of a night we've got. It's got the wobbles, that one.
It's a good throw. Is it his best of the night? I guess that's the question.
He's looking up, so why is it raining on my parade? 43.35 and a PB.
Yeah, it looked good. Just looked like he'd made the adjustment asked of him, and that ability to listen to your coach. I mean, that's you know, a wonderful ability to have.
Sun Penshang. Oh my goodness, that's huge. What's going on here? Hey, he's smashed his world record again, I think.
Well, I think I put the commentator's curse on him. I said, I wonder how much incentive there is knowing you're leading this competition. You've already seen a world record to continue that progression. So he says, well, plenty. I could hear you up there.
44.35 it was coming in, and Sun has just thrown 47.13 to obliterate his former mark and to take absolute control of this final. Yeah. Oh, he's a thrower.
Oh, he's got wonderful personality, hasn't he? Right, now, one of the blue ribbon events on the track, the men's 200 metres, T64. Looking forward to this. Now, these are athletes with lower limbs competing with prosthesis, normally affected by a limb deficiency and leg length difference. And so just having a look at that world record.
It's owned by Mhlongo of South Africa.
And so here we go. So we've got Levi Vloet of the Netherlands, 25 years of age, sees his best at 22.66. And now we've got the very animated Mikel Saitis of Greece, 34 years of age. Brings plenty of personality. Oshima Kengo. Well, big round of applause will go up for the 21-year-old from Japan, the hometown favourite. Now Jonathan Gore of the United States, big reputation, personal best, season's best of 22.62.
Jonathan Gore.
He is the 100-metre champion, is the 2018 European champion. Felix String of Germany, 26 years of age.
7th, 5th in the 100 metres here, 6th in Rio for South Africa.
And now the South African Mpume Malongo, 27 years of age, second at the World Championships in 2019. And the second of the Americans, Jared Wallace, out of the University of Georgia. And the silver medalist in the 100 metres from Costa Rica, Sherman Giti.
Well, the rain hasn't bothered anybody in terms of performances this evening. That's been the pattern in the last few days. It just doesn't seem to bother them, such is the quality and their preparation too. All credit to the athletes. See, it's still raining here at the National Stadium.
Remarkable innovation, remarkable technology, and that's the one thing that the Paralympics do well. We've seen it in road cycling, we see it here in track and field, is the engineering that goes into these prosthetics. Not dissimilar to Formula One, they use the highest level in sport to design the technology that then becomes a part of everyday life.
I think String is going to feature here.
Well, he is class. It's Felix String. As we have a look at Mikel Saitis, second at the World Championships in 2019. Go lost and have a look at Jonathan Gore of the United States. Malongo of South Africa as well, 27-year-old. Giti, an athlete who brings in a big reputation, as does Jared Wallace. String of Germany, the local hometown favourite Oshima. And then it will be Levi Vloet of the Netherlands. So String in 4, Wallace in 5, Giti in 6. All eyes in the middle of the track. Can those on the outside lanes or on the inside lanes cause the upset? This is the final of the men's 200 metres T64. Good, clean, honest start. Very good start coming from Felix Strang of Germany in lane 4. As they come off the bend now, they'll lift their head, and now they're up into full speed. Wonderful 200 metres race. It is Strang, the German, but as we talked about, look at Giddy come down here. The big man powering his way to a gold medal. That is a very good performance from Sherman. Giddy, he'll take the gold medal, and it will be Felix Strang, the silver, Jared Wallace of the United States, the bronze medal. Let's have a look at the time. Let's have a look at the time. Wow, what a very good run indeed. 21.43, a new Paralympic record. Felix Strang will run a season's best in second of 21.78. Jared Wallace of the United States also runs a season's best in 22.09. But coming off the back straight, Sherman, Isidro Gitty of Costa Rica just explodes. What a performance, what a moment for his country. Paralympic record and Paralympic gold medal for the 24-year-old.
Well, Strang made a good start and ran a good bend, but Gitty had something extra to give in the straights. And 21.43 lowers the Paralympic record mark.
He's a big man, isn't he? He's tall. And sometimes the benefit of being tall, yes, you get that distance per stride, but you can be a bit slower out of the blocks. And so he's going to cross to get his photo. And hopefully this inspires other athletes in his country that have a disability to want to take up track and field. And his legacy, well, Paralympic gold, but it might be in time that next generation of athlete that we possibly see in LA or Brisbane in those Olympics to come. If we have another look here, good solid start, but it was very much Felix Strang, the German in the yellow singlet, but just coming off the bend. Now we see the big man, Giddy, just uses height. Really did it comfortably in the finish.
Takes some skill and control to run a bend with prosthetic leg. There's always a balance that has to be struck.
Yeah, but particularly when that prosthetic is on that inside leg on the bend as well. So the left leg, you know, sometimes easier on the outside leg. But look, that's just wonderful, isn't it? Wonderful moment for Costa Rica. And just confirming that, 21.43. Strang of Germany, the silver, Jared Wallace, the bronze, Jonathan Gore of America, and Malongo of South Africa. Well, they round out our top 5.
Continuing action in the long jump. Nicholas Hum, rate 7.09 in the second round from him. Gets to top speed so quickly.
That's a good jump. It's a good jump. Better in terms of the takeoff. Made that adjustment. Not sure it's his best jump of the night, but it'll be close.
He's regularly clearing 7 metres, so something to be said for his consistency.
Yeah, and 7 metres will be a big breakthrough for him, and if he can consistently jump at 7 metres, then you can start targeting those next, 10, 20 centimetre increments.
And a 7.12.
Well, that is a very, very good jump. What an improvement from the Australian in regards to what he's done prior to coming into the Paralympics.
Well, Prodmaru has been heading in the wrong direction after a healthy 7.03 to start. What about in round 5? Oh, if it's fair, it's good. He likes it, and it is. Raising the white flag. Prodmaru might have made a statement here. at least in terms of the minor medals. I don't know if anyone's going to catch Romley.
Yeah, boy, he uses all of the popping board, doesn't he? Gets really good horizontal. Just so much power. He's not a jumper who goes high. Let's have a look at it. He's pretty happy.
And 7:17 into second place he goes with a PB as well.
I love athletes. They've had questions asked of them. They answer those questions. The pressure he's put on come from himself, as we now bring you another one of these remarkable medal ceremonies, another opportunity to recognise and celebrate sporting excellence at the highest level. It is the medal ceremony for the women's 200 metres T12.
Ladies and gentlemen, victory ceremony for the women's 200 metres T11. Please welcome the medalists. Medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は武藤敏郎
Director General CEO of the Tokyo Organising Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会事務総長
Accompanied by
続きまして平子裕二
President and CEO of All Nippon Airways Company Limited.
全日本空輸株式会社代表取締役社長
Bronze medalist representing Brazil.
銅メダリストブラジル
Jerusa Gerber dos Santos and her guide Gabriel Aparecido dos Santos Garcia.
So the bronze medal goes to Jerusa Gerber dos Santos. Silver way back in London 2012. The bronze in Beijing back in 2008, one of the real veterans. And now she adds a bronze to her impressive CV here on day 11 of Tokyo 2020.
A real contest between first and second, though, with identical times at first look. It was one of the tightest finishes we've ever had.
Yeah, it certainly was, arguably in the history of the Paralympic movement on the track.
Silver medalist representing Brazil.
銀メダリストブラジル
Thalita Vitória Simplicio da Silva and her guide Felipe Veloso da Silva.
Thalita Simplicio da Silva, the silver medal given exactly the same time as our winner, but they went to the photo. She's the current 400-metre world champion. She won a silver at the World Champs back in 2019. So she knows how to get herself up on the big occasion. And look what it means to her. Very special night for Brazil. Two athletes on the podium.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing People's Republic of China.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン中華人民共和国
Liu Qiqing and her guide Zhu Dongling.
So Liu Qiqing, she won a gold in Rio in the 400 metres 5 years ago, silver in Rio. Then this event, well, 5 years on, it is now a gold medal. And she adds it to the World Championship she won in 2019. Wonderful night for China. What an athlete. 29 years of age. Only a 3-year wait to Paris. It is game on for all of these 3 athletes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of People's Republic of China.
皆様、中華人民共和国国歌の演奏です。
Well, China is up to 92 gold medals, 54 silver and 50 bronze, a total of 196. And
But I think, too, that is the legacy of the Beijing Olympics, isn't it? 2008, you start investing 8 years out so that when you host the Games, as the host nation, you want to be visible, you want to say, hey, we're the host nation for a reason, and then you get the legacy of that, and that's what we're seeing here.
well, the We the 15 campaign making us all aware that 15% of the world's population have some kind of a disability. And you look at the size of the Chinese population, they've got an enormous pool of potential athletes. Romley on the runway. And the T20 long jump. He's looking good for the victory here. And he just, face plants a bit. Oh, no, he's got an injury.
I think he's hurt his groin here. Yeah, not a nice injury either. That is going to hurt too. That is really going to hurt. Not an injury he can get over quickly from either. Well, good thing is that he's got the numbers on the board now, but I'd be surprised if we see him still back in this competition. So he might have to just rely on those leading jumps of his.
And much concern in the stands there. The coaching crew would be really worried about him.
Yeah. Oh, very, very tough to run if you do just pull that groin area.
That's an adductor in there.
Yeah.
It's a common injury for athletes, footballers.
Well, it's one of the dangers too. It's a bit cooler in the stadium tonight. We mentioned earlier the fact of just staying warm between jumps as well.
Looks like he's done a good job on it too. He's in a fair bit of pain.
Yeah.
Fortunately, leading the competition. That's a shock. We've had so little of that at these games. And for a world champion to happen to him, I wish him the best. Bring you an update when we can.
And now the medal ceremony for the women's 200 T12, those athletes with a visual impairment. Really, really special moment for the island nation of Cuba.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は武藤敏郎
Director General CEO of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会事務総長
Accompanied by
続きまして平沢達也
Minister for Reconstruction.
復興大臣
Bronze medalist RPC athlete
銅メダリスト RPC
Anna Kulinic-Sorokina and her guide Sergei Petrichenko.
Bronze medal to Anna Kulinic Sorokina of RPC. A bronze medal for her. Fourth at the World Championships in 2019. Current European champion. And now a bronze medal to add to the CV. wonderful personality, great for the sport.
Silver medalist representing Ukraine,
銀メダリストウクライナ
Oksana Botachuk and her guide Mikita.
Oksana Botachuk of the Ukraine wins the silver medal, a medal that she won 5 years ago in Rio. She also won a silver in Beijing back in 2008. A real veteran at 36 years of age. But again, just pushing the boundaries of sports science, saying age is no barrier.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Cuba,
銀メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンキューバ
Omara Durand-Elias and her guide Uniol Kindelin-Vargas.
Omara Durand-Elias of Cuba, the gold medal, world champion. And tonight she set a new world record. It's a trifecta for one of the sport's most complete athletes. Plenty of emotion as her national anthem is about to be played and rings around the Olympic Stadium here in Tokyo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Cuba.
皆様キューバ国歌の演奏です
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
And for Cuba, that's their 4th gold medal of the Games. Silver to Ukraine, bronze to Russian Paralympic Committee. Very strong pair. The rain's just backed off a little, which is nice, especially if you're standing out there collecting your medals. Put up with anything, I think, if you're receiving a gold medal. It's better if it's not there, though. You're watching your 41 Javelin. That's Sayar. Checks the line, he's good. The throw is pretty good. I think Sun, who was in shot there with his record-breaking 47.13, he's got the option of not bothering to throw anymore if Bayat Sayar looks like he's celebrating also. He threw a 43.35 for a PB in the 4th round. And that was as good as he would get. 41.80 with his last. And Son Pengshang has stood aside for his 6th throw. He doesn't need it. He's won it convincingly by almost 4 meters. 47.13, the new world record and Paralympic record. He's up into the stand. I'm not sure he's allowed to go that far. Anyway, someone will talk to him if he's not supposed to. But what a victory. What a world record he's just set. I mean, where does he find 3 metres from? It's 5 or 6% improvement.
Well, that might be a record that stands the test of the time. You've got to love this young man, though. What a remarkable athlete. And I tell you what, you look forward to the rivalry in 3 years' time in Paris.
Yes, a PB, a world record, and a gold medal coming to China again. Such a strong performance they put together at these games. Sun Peng Shang, 47-13. Unbelievable. Betsiar of Iran and Iraq's Nukhlawi, the 41-39. Gold, silver and bronze for you in the F41 Javelin. As we keep saying, not even the best of conditions, but the record's just getting smashed. So I've just seen the injury in the long jump to Romley of Malaysia. So he won't be jumping again. Prodromu has a remote chance of stealing the gold here. He's in second position. He likes it. No, can't see it being enough though.
No, I think he was. I think he was just absolutely thrilled with his previous jump. Knew that probably secured him the silver medal. I think it was always going to be a tough ask mentally to get him back self up again. It either goes one way, you continue that momentum, or you're just slightly off because the emotion has got on top of you.
But it's a silver medal to Greece. It'll be bronze to Australia and gold to the now injured Abdulatif Romley. He looks to have done a groin strain, adductor muscle torn, and he was in a lot of pain. So we hope for a quick recovery for the Malaysian champion, and he'll be hobbling onto the dais a bit later.
Well, it also just emphasises the importance of trying to get those early numbers on the board. Those first, whether it be throwing events or whether it be in the jumping events. Really good performance too from the Australian here. Not much in it between second and third.
I suspect Romley's getting some attention. We won't see a shot of him celebrating, but he's won it, and won it handsomely. 7:45 from Prodromu of Greece and Hum of Australia. Good jumping all around.
Yeah, nice to see the Japanese athlete there pick up a personal best as well. The one thing you've noticed even from Rio is just now the depth of competition, the fact that it is just becoming so much more even too. And now one of the real tough events. This is one of the arguably the toughest events on the track, the 400 metres. And this is the 2T38. So those athletes with coordination impairments. World record set by Ekla. So we've got Ekla, the world record holder, and we've got the defending champion both in this final. Kadina Cox there of Great Britain is the defending champion. She's also a gold medalist in paracycling in Rio. As we have a look at Koncharova of RPC, silver in London in the 100 metres. Luka Ekla, now of Hungary. As I said, the current European champion. Jimenez Sanchez of Colombia. Well, she has a simple philosophy: strength, passion and heart. Kadina Cox. ...30 years of age. Lindy Ave of Germany, second in the 200 of the 2017 World Championships, European champion in 2018. Kadi Hidado of Colombia, 31 years of age, took up the sport at the age of 18. Australia's big hope, Rhiannon Clark. Third in the 100 metres at the 2019 World Championships, won a bronze at the Commonwealth Games over 100 metres. Does she have the strength? And then Ali Smith of Great Britain, fourth in this event at the World Championships in 2019, a veteran at 32 years of age. Saluka Ekla of Hungary started in lane 8. Kadina Cox of Great Britain will start in lane 6.
Rain's back.
The final of the women's 400 metres T38.
Oh, it's throwing it down. What a distraction.
And they're going to have to deal with all of that. Good start from Rhiannon Clark of Australia in lane 3. Luca Ekla, the world record holder, in lane 8 towards the top of the track. Slow but controlled. But it is Goncharova in lane 9 who's gone out very, very hard through the first 150 metres. As they come back along the straight now, it is still Goncharova out there in lane 9. But as they start to come into the bend, Kadina Cox of Great Britain begins to make her move in lane 6. On her inside, Lindy Av of Germany. 300 metres of hope, 100 metres of truth. The legs will start to burn and tie up here. But it is the big figure of Katie Hurtado of Colombia now on her outside. It is Lindy Av of Germany. It is Av of Germany. Goncharova on the outside. It will be Germany the gold. Germany the gold.
Oh, she's run a beautifully controlled race, Ave. That's composure under incredibly trying conditions. These athletes in this class with a movement disorder such as cerebral palsy, throw that into the mix with the track's not slippery, but it's a massive distraction when it's just teeming with rain.
Well, really good first start from Goncharova of RPC, who finished with the silver medal because she just took it out so aggressively in lane 9. And when we were expecting Kadina Cox to make her move, it was in fact Darian Jimenez Sanchez of Colombia who probably had the best of the bends. There she is, the big tall figure. And it's now that we see Lindy of Germany.
Ave coming down to the line, and Goncharova made a second surge, but then it failed to get her across the line first.
Well, just 3/100ths of a second separating second from third, just to give you an idea of how close it was.
And 60 seconds flat for a world record for Ave.
So another world record on the track for the German. And as we just have another look here, what makes that world record so remarkable is the conditions.
This is about as heavy as the rain we've had over the last 3 days, Mark. So it just really got heavier just before the race start. Water in the eyes, as if it's not hard enough at 400. Well done. Paced it beautifully. The victory ceremony. I can tell you that the presentation dais is right on the border of where the water can reach. You see the roof of the stadium extending out over the seats.
So if you're looking at that image just to the right there where the little blue marquee was. Really special moment here for Venezuela. This was another really, really strongly contested women's 200-metre final.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
Haris Byramovich, Vice President Tokyo 2020 Olympics and Paralympics.
I think you can see the moisture on his suit. He's not quite completely out of the rain there. It's a bit coming through.
執行役員東京2020オリンピック・パラリンピック担当
I think if you read the backstories of so many of these athletes, no one's really going to sort of be too concerned by a bit of rain, are they?
Oh no, they've been through plenty.
Absolutely. Simply inspiring stuff.
Bronze medalist representing Poland,
銅メダリストポーランド
Alicia Jeremy.
And there it is, a bronze medal for Alicia Jeremy. Time of 25.05 seconds, just 5/100ths of a second outside of the silver medal. What a wonderful moment for Poland. 36 years of age, a real veteran. Won a silver in Rio in the 100 and 200.
Silver medalist representing United States of America,
銀メダリストアメリカ合衆国
Brittany Mason.
And silver medal goes to Brittany Mason, world champion in 2019 over 100 metres, silver in the 200 in Dubai back in 2019. She backs that up today with a silver at the Paralympics. Just 23 years of age. What a future she has ahead of her. A personal best today of 25 seconds flat.
She's in a good mood.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Venezuela,
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン
Lisbelli Maria
Well, she's got some support in the crowd.
Well, she does indeed. So Lisbela Marina Vera Andrade, a winning time of 24.52, the personal best for her. She was third at this year's World Championships, third in the 400, but now Paralympic champion, the one that means the most. And they'll be dancing in the streets tonight in Venezuela.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Venezuela.
皆様ベネズエラ国歌の演奏です
I don't know about you, but I love hearing the different national anthems, the different sort of tempos and themes and feel to them. That's
But also the emotion that for those athletes of that country.
Yeah.
Because what we saw there was raindrops, but also teardrops.
yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Such adversity at times in their lives. They're training so many bad days, good days to remember, and it all culminates in this moment. really special for Lisbela Vera Andrade of Venezuela, Paralympic champion.
In these conditions, it's hard to see the tracks of her tears. Tears of joy. They're the better sort. What a finish we had here into the driving rain. Ave just holding off the challengers. Gee, she ran a smart race. You only have to be in front once, they say.
Well, and if you want to see proof of that, I'll suggest people go on and watch the 1983 New York Marathon. Rod Dixon versus the Englishman. And I think he led for 100 metres of that 42, whatever kilometres. But there you go, just confirm it. World record, 1 minute flat for Lindy Ave of Germany. Koncharova, how aggressive, how good was she to pick up that silver medal?
Grateful to be out of the downpour. The folks in the stands here, pretty comfortable viewing conditions, not so much if you're out in the rain of Tokyo tonight. Beautiful timber beams of this wonderful stadium. Timber at the Ariake Gymnastics Stadium as well, beautifully used. Another victory ceremony coming straight on the heels. T64 200. Sherman Giti setting a Paralympic record, seeing off Felix Streng and Jared Wallace of Germany and the USA.
The medals will be presented by Stanislav Vasera, President and Representative Director, Procter & Gamble Japan KK.
プロクター&ギャンブルジャパン株式会社代表取締役社長
Accompanied by
続きまして平沢達也
Minister for Reconstruction.
復興大臣
Bronze medalist representing United States of America,
銅メダリストアメリカ合衆国
Jared Wallace.
So 2 season bests and a Paralympic record from our medalists. Jared Wallace, 31 years of age now. Running 22:09. So taking a 10th off his previous best this season. There's a career best of 22:03, so he's knocking on the door.
Silver medalist representing Germany,
銀メダリストドイツ
Felix Streng.
So Streng, 21:78 he ran to secure the silver medal. He won the 100. And now he's got a silver in the 200. So it's been a good games for him. Actually born in La Paz, Bolivia.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Costa Rica,
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンコスタリカ
Sherman Isidro Giti.
Giti, too strong, too quick. And at least we had identifiable margins between these runners for first, second and third, about 0.3 between first and second, and the same second and third. And Giti prevailing and setting a new Paralympic record. Which he set just the other day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Costa Rica.
皆様コスタリカ国歌の演奏です
The
First gold medal of the Games for Costa Rica, coming quite late, but at least they've got one.
Yeah, and again, we talk about that. What does this do now for the Paralympic movement in Costa Rica in terms of inspiring those athletes, those people out there? And 15% of the world have some sort of disability. Remarkable performance.
His sixth round attempt with the gold medal already secured. His second Paralympic title.
He's got to find the mask in his pocket shortly. Reaching for it now. This is the protocol. A couple of quick photos without a mask and then they have to go back on.
Got to say, they've been wonderful hosts, the Japanese. Still the marathons to come on the final day, but in terms of the track and field itself, and I do encourage people post-COVID, you know, thinking about travelling somewhere in the world, do come to Japan. Some of the most beautiful scenery anywhere in the world. The cities are so incredibly progressive, but more importantly, the people are just so incredibly friendly and helpful.
I've never felt so safe in a foreign city.
I completely 100% agree. And if you come at the right time, I promise you, you won't get this sort of rain. Okay, you won't get this rain.
You might. Depends when you come. And even if you do, it's okay. Here's the result from the women's discus F38 and a world record. That's no shock. Mi Na and Li Yingli making it a 1-2 for China. And this discus event, F38, and the Mexican Rosa Carolina Castro, her best effort coming in the fifth round with a 33.73. Olympic record in the F38 category.
The thing that I'm just loving too is just so many different countries. Every time we seem to switch between one event, somebody from a different part of the world, different country, not one particular nation dominating. Clearly China, Great Britain, largely due to population and investment, but still the spoils being spread right around the world.
Li Yingli, who had 2 fouls to start. It's in there somewhere. Here we go. And she had a 31.02 to progress nicely through the competition. Then 33.73. And that equaled Castro of Mexico. But Mi Na,
well, it is tough conditions because we've talked about the water coming down. It will affect the throwing events. And that's that speed across the circle. They'll need to make an adjustment accordingly.
this is for 3 Paralympic gold in a row. She won London and Rio. And it's flying. It's flying. Previous record, 37.83, held by Renee Fussell, Canada. And a 38.50. She's taken it.
And that is great to see, isn't it? So much emotion.
Oh, the rain at that point. So 2 throwers with the same distance, Mark. They separate them by their next strongest throw. So we got second and third on 33.73, but they've listed Lee as second and Castro as third.
Yeah, wonderful moment again for Mexico.
This is the rain we've had. It's just backed off a little now, I'm pleased to say. Not much, but a bit.
It's not cold, though. That's the important thing. It's not that cold. It's certainly cooler by what we've seen here over the 11 days of the Paralympics. It's had some very, very warm days in Tokyo, but it is relatively mild tonight.
It's a different sort of heat when it is hot to what I'm used to. It's very still here in the stadium. Even though we were in the shade, we're absolutely baking. High humidity, high temperature, out of the sun and just cooking. Men's 400.
Absolutely. 300 metres of hope, 100 metres of truth. Best way of describing this, that last 100 will feel like they're running through quicksand. It is one of the real blue ribbon events, though. And having a look at that world record of Johansson Nasimunto, set back in 2012, record of 49.21. As we run through that starting lineup for you, 2 Americans, 2 Brazilians. Great to have representation from by Ayoub Sadni of Morocco, Thomas Normandou of Canada. We'll start on the inside lane in lane 2. As we go and have a look at Louis-André Varquez Secura, just 20 years of age, making his Paralympic debut. And then we've got Raven Sample of the United States, just 19 years of age, out of Bucknell University, coached by Kevin Donner. And then we've got Thomas Ruan de Moraes, 20 years of age, silver at the World Championships in Dubai in 2019, brings in a big reputation. Ayoub Sadni, 3rd at the World Championships in 2019. Will it be his time? And then we've got Patricio Ferreira dos Santos, who will start in lane 5, silver in Rio, world champion in Dubai 2019, to the current world champion. And then we will have Tanner Wright of the United States. He's on the cusp. He's been 4th at the 2017 World Championships. As we have a look at Lucas de Sousa, 25 years of age, started the sport back in 2017, rounding out our field. Thomas Normandou, a 25-year-old out of Canada, 8th at the World Championships in 2019. Comes in with a season best of 49.86. So Ferreira dos Santos of Brazil starting in lane 5. This is the final of the men's 400 metres, T47. And away, nice and even, very aggressive start at the top of the track from Vasquez Secura of the Dominican Republic, Raven Sample of the United States, and 8 going out quickly. But have a look at Ruan de Moraes in lane 7, really looking to try and establish a lead through that first 200 metres. Good running coming from Ayoub Sadni, though, in lane 6, a much more measured performance. They now come through the 200 metres. Who gets the best run off the bend? Ferreira dos Santos of Brazil in lane 5, having a superb run as well. But it is Ayoub Sadni of Morocco in control. Can he hang on? Can he maintain that form with less than 100 metres left to run? Big challenge coming from Ruiz de Moraes of Brazil on the outside, but it will be Ayoub Sadni who will come down and win this, and win it comfortably in a very good performance, and a new world record of 47.39. 47.39, new world record. The 22-year-old Ayoub Sadni wins the men's 400 metre T47 final. Ruan de Moraes of Brazil, the silver, and it'll be another bronze medal to another Brazilian, Patricio Ferreira dos Santos, who's just run a season's best of 48.04. But nobody can deny the man from Morocco. Wonderful performance, personal best, and a world record.
He's looked at that time. He's taken 0.3 off the world record. Oh, what a reaction.
He was just so controlled and so measured through that first 200. He went out hard, but he didn't go out to the point where he would lose his form over that last 100 metres.
It's a very good first 200 from Tanner Wright. Looked like he might do something, but then the field drew away from him. Perhaps he spent a bit much gas in those opening stages.
Yeah, really good even start. I did like the look there too of Raven Sample of the United States.
Held his form to the line very well indeed, Sudney.
Looked like he had another 50 metres in him. That's scary. It's got to be one of the hardest events, the 400 metres. 400 hurdles, probably a little bit more brutal, but here every part of your body is screaming. Good to see Brazil go second and third there, but nobody can deny the man from Morocco, Ayub Sadni.
You don't have to be big, you just have to be quick and build in some endurance. What do you think is the ideal build for a 400 runner? Is there one?
I think you've just got to have a big heart. You've got to have a head like granite, because you need to know how to just stay in that dark place. I call it the hurt box. It's not a very nice place.
Yeah.
And who can stay there the longest?
So a lot of the key attributes are on the inside.
Absolutely. Look, I think it's like anything, isn't it? It just comes down to preparation. It's a real hard one because it's a combination between speed endurance and strength endurance, and a man of faith. And great to see too, recognising that as we just confirmed that for you. Now, that world record was set for the T46. And so T46 runners T47, so 47.38. So there are a couple of different world records that do stand. But it was a world record tonight for him, for the 22-year-old.
Javelin F41 victory ceremony. Had some real tight competition here and some real characters in it as well.
The medals will be presented by
You throw with such passion, and yet when it's all done, they're the best of friends.
Organising Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会事務総長
Accompanied by
続きまして杉山明子
Saw a huge world record in the end from Son
B&B ジャパン株式会社リーダー
Sadej Bayat of Iran and Iraq's Wildan Nukailawari.
presenting Iraq.
銅メダリストイラク
Wildan Nukaalawi.
His first throw was his best, 41.39. I feel for Navdeep of India, just outside the medals. The 40.80. But one to watch. He's only 20, Navdeep. Nukaalawi, a veteran at 35. And throwers often do blossom fairly late in their career. It takes a while to build up the experience, the technique, and the strength. Bayat Sayar, his finest throw coming in the fourth round, 43.35. You can take the right one. So the mascots have different colours to them. And the emotion, understandably, comes flooding through.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion, representing People's Republic of China.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン中華人民共和国
Sun Pengxiang.
Sun Pengxiang, well, he won world championships either side of the Rio Games, and he was third at those Paralympics.
Well, power to weight ratio, he might just be the best javelin thrower in the world, if we can use a boxing terminology, because he is a remarkable athlete.
he lifted his world record from 44.35 set in Dubai 2 years ago to 47.13.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of People's Republic of
Didn't
China.
require his sixth and final throw.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic
Gold then to China, silver to Iran, bronze to Iraq. Paris just 3 years away now because of the delayed Tokyo Games. You think all these fellas will be thinking, well, actually 3 years is easier to get to than 4.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Less time to have to maybe right the wrongs or continue to build on the momentum.
Shot put F33 result there, 11.37 for Durham. And Cherny from Croatia. His best throw would come in the third round for him, 11.25. He's got the headband going there. Kajina.
Just incredible, that upper body strength, isn't it? Just remarkable what these athletes can do. Just so explosive.
The Algerian.
I mean, look at that. Just the power in the wrist.
Season's best for him of 11.34. I like the scream therapy that the throwers indulge in. Zakaria Derhem, 30-year-old from Morocco. So he's opting not to use the pole to hold on to.
No, deciding to lock himself in through the legs and using that as his pivot point.
And a Paralympic record for him.
So great to have the athletes from the different nationalities here enjoying this final night of the track and field. Still the marathons to come as we bring you another medal ceremony, this time the men's long jump T20.
Well, this will be interesting because our gold medalist suffered an injury late in the competition. And here he is, a nasty injury.
Yeah, that groin abductor area, really tough, really niggly. But great to have him here to receive what will be a very, very cool moment for him and his country.
The medals will be presented by
Abdul Romley is the man who's in trouble with that injury, but perhaps the pain will be eased a little by the gold medal.
accompanied by Airbnb Japan Leadership Member.
Airbnb Japan 株式会社リーダーシップメンバー
Bronze medalist.
So the 28-year-old Australian Nicholas Hum with the bronze medal.
オーストラリア
Nicholas Hum.
Started off with a 6.95, then 7.09, and then a 7.12. So he built a solid event. 5th in Rio. He's had 4 top 10s at World Championships without getting a medal at those. He'll certainly treasure this one.
Yeah, nice to always get that breakthrough performance and set some records along the way. Real momentum for 3 years from now.
Silver medalist representing Greece.
銀メダリストギリシャ
Athanasios Prodromou.
Podium must have wondered if he was going to find his best form. He's had some jumps in the low 7s, and he fouled in the 4th attempt. In the 5th round, a 7.17 to move ahead of Hum and claim the silver. 7.04 with his last jump. Second at this year's European Championships. Our presenters occasionally having to explain which mascot is the right one. They look the same initially, but there's bronze, silver and gold colours attached to them.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Malaysia.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピック
Well, he's out of his chair to accept his medal.
Abdul Latif Romli.
The injury's going to take some time to recover from, but Romli leapt 7.26 in the first round, then a huge 7.45. Hurt himself in the 5th round attempt, and we think it's a nasty adductor strain. But he'll get the right attention to it.
He's technically outstanding. Dominant performance. Great athlete.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Malaysia.
皆様マレーシア国歌の演奏です
Third gold for Malaysia.
Paralympic medalists.
I thought they had one earlier in the week, but Mohammed Ziad Zulkifli, shot putter, was controversially disqualified. He and 2 other competitors in that event turning up fractionally late in the marshalling area, and they're very strict about this sort of thing, and there was quite a deal of fuss about it, but no fuss today about the victory of Romli. He might be feeling uncomfortable with his injury, but very pleased to have that gold around his neck. Result from the F63 shot put. Alec Davies of Great Britain. Significant win for him. 50 centimetres or so, 45.
You see, you can't quite see it, but just how wet that circle is. Using those towels there to dry it.
Surur of Kuwait. He's pretty happy.
Yeah, well, it puts a lot of pressure on when you can put a good number up like that early on. Really good throw. Great emotion too.
Mohammedian of Iran. These throws often have abbreviated throwing actions across the ring. 14.88 first round attempt was his best, and a season's best as well. But Aled Davies looked the man to beat. As early as the second round, he was out past 15 metres, and he kept improving on it. Well, that's a technique, isn't it? Spins quickly, out past 15 again.
Well, it's that speed, and that's what gives them the distance. But
15.33, and he's claimed the win.
really emotional for him, emotional for all of them. Isn't that great to see Great Britain, Iran?
He's wearing a relatively new orthotic that weighs quite a bit. He's been getting used to it, and he'll be pleased with it now.
Now have the medal ceremony for the women's 400 T38. What a moment it is for Germany. A new world record for Lindy Ave.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は小谷美香子
Sports Director of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会スポーツディレクター
Accompanied by
続きまして杉山明子
Airbnb Japan Leadership Member,
Airbnb ジャパン株式会社リーダーシップメンバー
Bronze medalist representing Colombia,
銅メダリストコロンビア
Darian Faisuri Jimenez Sanchez.
And there it is, a bronze medal for Darian Faisuri Jimenez Sanchez of Colombia. A really simple philosophy that she came to these games with. Strength, passion and heart. And just 21 years of age. What a future she has. Paralympic debut.
Silver medalist RPC athlete,
銀メダリスト RPC
Margarita Goncharova.
And a silver medal goes to Margarita Goncharova, just so aggressive out there in the outside lane in lane 9. She won a silver in London in the 100 metres. First in the 400 metres at the 2019 World Championships. Today, a silver on the biggest stage of them all, the Paralympic Games. 30 years of age.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Germany,
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンドイツ
Lindy Ava.
Lindy Ava of Germany is your Paralympic champion. She was European champion back in 2018. She'd won a silver at the World Championships in 2017, but this is the biggest prize of them all. Germany, such a powerhouse nation, right across the sport, right across the board in all of sport. And for Lindy Ave, she writes another chapter in the rich history of Germany at the Paralympic Games. And now the playing of the national anthem of Germany.
The national anthem of Germany.
皆様ドイツ国歌の演奏です
And
if I was to nominate something that separated her from the field in that race, is the way she paced it. A few of them started to hit the wall with 40 or 50 metres to go, and she sort of emerged through, having run such a steady pace.
And that takes a lot of confidence to do that too, and sometimes you see your opponent just that little bit further ahead of you, wondering whether or not they are going to tie up. So it's that old philosophy that you have to show your body in training what you're going to do on race day. You can't train one way and then turn up and expect to race another way. And that's a key fundamental for a lot of athletes. Understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. But you can also say, look, what time am I going to be running? Well, okay, I'm going to be running at 8:30 at night. Well, get used to doing some speed sessions at 8:30 at night. Show your body how to get into that rhythm to get your nervous system up. And when you're dealing with really, really small percentages, they're the things you can control. A really, really wonderful performance for these three athletes.
It's raining really hard again. We've got 100 metres coming up in a second.
And we've got the last track event of the Tokyo 2020 track and field program. Still the marathons to come on the final day. But in regard to the track and field program at the Olympic Stadium, one more event to go, the women's 100 metres T63 final, which will feature 3 Italians. 2 athletes from Switzerland. One athlete from the United States, one from Japan, and one from Indonesia.
Just looking down at the track, Mark, it's almost the lanes 8 and 9 when we get to it. They've got a little bit of protection from the roof of this stadium. I wonder if it's worth being out in that lane.
Well, it's actually a really good point that you do make. You can actually see it right there. That lanes 8 and 9 certainly appear to be drier than those inside lanes. And so we now have a look at the world records there for the official T63. It's Martina Caroni of Italy. And now we welcome our first athlete, Noelle Lambert, 4th in the 100 metres T63 World Championships in 2019. Elena Kratter, 2nd at the European Champs, over 100 metres earlier this year, 25 years of age.
Might be happy to have lane 9 today.
And she'll start in lane 3. Tozawa Tomomi, 22 years of age, 6th in the 100 metres at 2018 World Championships. And then we've got Sofia Gonzalez of Switzerland, 5th at the 2019 World Championships, 3rd at the Europeans in 2019. So how will she be 2 years later? Twice she has won silver at the World Championships. Monica Contrafato, 40 years of age, but certainly one to watch. And 19 years of age on debut, Abra Sabatini comes in with a very good season's best of 14:39. And representing Indonesia, Evie Tiarani, 20 years of age, 1st in the 100 metres in Dubai in 2019, so reigning world champion. Martina Caironi, the world record holder, the Paralympic champion. What a field this is. 3 Italians, 2 Swiss, Indonesia, the powerhouse that is the United States, and the home nation, Japan. Settle back and enjoy all of this one. It is the women's 100 metre T63 final. Lambert of the United States, Tozawa of Japan, Contrafato of Italy, Tiarani of Indonesia, Caironi of Italy, Sabatini of Italy. Can they go 1, 2, 3? Gonzalez of Switzerland, and Kratter rounds out our field in lane 9. Women's 100 metre T63 final is moments away. Racing this time, very good even start. Great start from Terrafini of Indonesia in the middle of the track. She explodes out of the blocks, but here come the three Italians. It might be Sabatini on the outside. It will be the youngest of the three Italians. Sabatini will take the gold medal. Caroni the silver, and it will be Contrafatto of Italy. Italy go 1, 2 and 3 in the women's T63 final. It is a trifecta for the Italians. And a new world record of 14.11 for Amber Sabatini, the 19-year-old on debut. That is a wonderful moment for the Italians. A new champion, a new world record, and the domination of Europe. Wow.
We haven't had a 1, 2, 3 for one nation here. This is a record and a record.
What a start, though, from Charisma Evie Tiarani. And now the Italians, they can't believe it.
Tiarani fell after the line, but she'd already been passed by Contrafatto. And 1, 2, 3, the Azzurri. Well, who'd have thought that?
Well, we saw Lamont Jacobs Jr., the Italian, win the Summer Games.
What a way to finish the Games if you're a fan of Italian athletics. That's the last one on the track. We've still got the marathons, of course, but a dramatic and sensational way to end it with a 1, 2, 3 for Italy.
They cannot believe it, can they? 19 years of age, the youngest of the three. Martina Caironi of Italy, 31 in the silver, and 40-year-old Monica Grazina Contrafatto. Have a look at this, the explosive nature of Chiarini of Indonesia. And then Sabatini. Just beautiful form, looks up, hands immediately go to her face. Have they had the 4x100 relay yet? Look out, the rest of the world.
Well, straight away, it was almost too much for Sabatini. When did screaming become a thing, right?
When you win gold medals, something we haven't done, so that's why maybe it's a bit foreign to us.
Well, whatever gets them by.
Well, that's a really special moment for Italians, for Italy. What a year it's been for them in sport. Unbelievable. New world record too of 14.11. That medal ceremony to come. It'll be Italy, Italy, Italy. Just confirming those results. There you go. Green, white and red. Paralympic record too being set by Tyreni, who falls into that 240T category. Slightly higher level of impairment.
Drenched track, but we're going to press on with our last few victory ceremonies to round out the program here. And it's the shot put F63.
Chief of Main Operations Centre at the Tokyo Organising Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会メインオペレーションセンターチーフ
Accompanied by
続きまして横川博
Executive Board Member of the Tokyo Organising Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会理事
Faisal Sorur His first throw was his best, 14.13. We didn't know too much about him coming in from Kuwait. The barrel chest on him. And a good competition to pick up a bronze medal. He threw 14.13, then fouled. And then in the 12s and 13s, so he spent it all on that first throw. But it's brought him a bronze medal.
Silver medalist, representing Islamic Republic of Iran.
銀メダリスト、イラン・イスラム共和国
Saja Mohammadian.
Mohammadian threw a 14.88 in the first round to be the leader, but not for too long, unfortunately for him. From Karamabad, he was second in Rio, and he's going to be second again. Season's best, that 14.88. Second again to Aled Davies of Great Britain.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion, representing Great Britain.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン英国
Aled Davies.
You know, it's just fantastic to see the silver and bronze medalists both clapping him as his name was announced. The sporting spirit here is something to behold. I do wish we saw it everywhere. Perhaps we will one day. But Aled Davies took control of this one in the second round through 15.05, then 15.25, then 15.33, and he's won it by the best part of half a metre.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Great Britain.
皆様、英国国歌の演奏です。
You know, he's won the last 4 World Championships, the last 2 European Championships. After Rio, Davies fell into a slump. He became quite despondent and depressed, and then realised what his mental health was. And now he works raising awareness of mental health.
Yeah, and you need athletes like that to lower the barriers, because it is a big issue these days, and that's part of that legacy as well, isn't it? And it must be hard when you have won everything to keep motivated, to keep driving, to keep striving. But you know what? You get to that threshold and then you create a legend, and through that legend you create legacy, and that's a great example of it.
Little look at what happened in the men's long jump, won by Abdul Romli, Podium of Greece, and Nicholas Hum, the minor medals. Long jump situated on the far side of the stadium. And Nicholas Hum started off with a 6.95 and then was steadily building, getting it out over 7 metres several times, and a 7.12 would be his best for the bronze medal. Powerfully built man, Prodromou of Greece.
He had a lot of pressure on himself at this point.
Yes, he needed to get something well over 17 metres to get into silver medal position, and he did that with a 7.17 and a personal best. Up to second, and Abdul Latif Romli warm favourite for this one. 2015 and 17 world champion, won Rio with a leap of 7.60. Second round attempt. Very useful indeed. 7.45. He would later suffer an injury in the 5th round.
But incredibly orthodox, pleasure to watch. And look at that, forever the perfectionist.
Silver to Greece, gold to Malaysia, bronze to Australia. And the discus throw F38 victory ceremony coming up. China and Mexico athletes there from on the dais.
Dr. Deborah Alexander, governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee.
国際パラリンピック委員会理事
Accompanied by
続きまして横川博
Executive Board Member of the Tokyo Organising Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会理事
Bronze medalist representing Mexico.
銅メダリストメキシコ
Rosa Carolina Castro.
Castro, nicknamed Rosita, from Los Cabos, Baja California, Mexico. Does a bit of motorbike riding when she's not busy with a field event throwing. Her best throw coming in the 5th round, 33.73. She's only 19. Watch out the future for this woman.
Silver medalist representing People's Republic of China.
銀メダリスト中華人民共和国
Yi Ling Yi.
So Lee was 3rd in the shot put here, and now 2nd in the discus. From Shenyang. .33.73 season best for Li Yingli. If she had to finish behind someone, she'd rather it was her fellow Chinese competitor, Mi Na.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing People's Republic of China.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン中華人民共和国
Mi Na.
Well, she was favourite for a very good reason. Well, for several of them, really. She won London, she won Rio. She's a 5-time world champion. And she's established a new world record of 38.50. She's actually not only beaten the F37 world record, but also the F38. And that is some achievement. So she's up against athletes with a
People's Republic of China.
lower disability. She's beaten them all.
中華人民共和国国歌の演奏です
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
Well, of course, in terms of medals won, quite dominant games for China. 93 gold, 56 silver, 50 bronze, and we're not quite done yet. We still have the marathons to come. And still the rain falls. It's raining records, dare I say it, Mark? It's out there now.
Yeah, well, last day of the track and field program, so we've had a pretty good run of it, haven't we? But there we go, that world record of 47.13. So many world records, and that is simply because of the depth of competition we're now seeing. And, of course, so much more money, sports science being put behind all of these athletes. And this was from earlier in the night in the men's javelin.
F41. Luke Haloway. Man from Iraq. Javelin just piercing the grass.
Yeah, he struggled at times with his run-up, but when he made that adjustment, boy, he looked good. Great moment for his country.
Bayat Sayar of Iran. 43.01 then, a foul. He had something better in mind with his fourth attempt. Sends a big yell after it as it progresses out towards the 45-metre mark, and a 43.35 for the Iranian.
Yeah, it showed a lot of emotion too. Really special moment for him.
But if you want technique and power combined, here's your man, Sun Pengsheng, with his fifth round attempt.
Scary thing is, he just makes it look so effortless. And I'll say it, power to weight ratio, if we were to use sort of, you know, boxing analogies, probably the best javelin thrower on the planet.
A 47.13, staggering new world record, almost 3 metres longer than his previous.
Well, it almost went beyond the tape.
Sun Pengsheng, too good.
And the next of our medal ceremonies, the men's 400-metre T47. Really special moment for Morocco and Brazil as well, because they'll have two athletes on the podium, which is a rare achievement in any major track and field meet. It shows that they've got depth, it shows they've got good coaching.
The medals will be presented by Dr. Deborah Alexander, Governing Board Member of the International Paralympic Committee.
国際パラリンピック委員会理事
Accompanied by
続きまして横川博
Executive Board Member of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会理事
Bronze medalist representing Brazil.
銅メダリストブラジル
Patricio Ferreira dos Santos.
Patricio Ferreira dos Santos, he won a silver in Rio. He was the world champion in 2019 in Dubai. For the 24-year-old, it's a bronze today. Very closely fought contest. He ran a season's best of 48.04.
Silver medalist representing Brazil.
銀メダリストブラジル
Tomás Ruan de la Rice.
And what a performance from this man. Silver medal for him today. Tomás Ruan de Moraes. He won a silver medal at the World Championships in 2019. Started the sport back in 2017. It's been a meteoric rise for him.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Morocco.
銀メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンモロッコ
Ayman Ayub Sadi.
And Ayub Sadi, Paralympic champion, set a world record. Third at the World Championships in 2019, just 22 years of age. What a future he has. One of the great runs tonight, adding to the long legacy that is Moroccan track and field. And his national anthem will ring out around the Olympic Stadium. As the rain comes down, it'll be tears of joy for him.
皆様、モロッコ国歌の演奏です。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
皆様、パラリンピックメダリストです。
Wonderful rivalry being established between Sardnik Ruan, Moraes and Ferreira dos Santos. 3 years to Paris, look out. I'd never do that to my Olympic gold medal. I hear they're very soft and you can put teeth marks in them.
I wouldn't do it to my teeth.
He's allowed to do what he wants. Look at that smile. Wow, remarkable.
And the team mask goes back on for the Moroccan.
Wonderful camaraderie again.
Now the other day,
It's amazing how we see so many countries, this is not the case here, where we see divided by sort of political boundaries at times, but just brought together by sport.
Yep. The other day, we had an Australian trying to put his mask on, and he was struggling because of his disability and because he had too much in his hands. And Kiwi comes across, helps him put his mask on.
Oh, you've got to love the New Zealanders, don't you? I think I'm from New Zealand, am I? Maybe I am.
Have you got a check?
There you go. I
don't
thought
think
we
you
better
did.
drop New Zealand in there anyway.
It's still a little bit to go here. A couple of medal presentations to finalise things.
And the last one will be 3 Italians, a very rare thing in track and field to see 3 athletes from the same country in an individual event win bronze, silver and gold. So that's still to come.
Still the rain falls. And
It's a stunning stadium though. It's a very fast track and expect to see this being used again in the future for other major events.
men's shot put F33. Field of 7 in this event. And again, we'll have Morocco on the dais, along with Algeria and Croatia. If you think back a few minutes, Mark, we had Iran and Iraq on the dais at the same time. Years ago, that would have been quite awkward.
That's what I'm saying. It's the great thing about sport, isn't all the political divides put to one side, religious divide, economic divide. I mean, this knows no names, it knows no reputations. It's just it's all about sport, and it's so good to see. It's just a nice reminder about the good in all of humanity.
Yes, what we can be.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
Luca Pancali, Governing Board Member of the International Paralympic Committee.
国際パラリンピック委員会理事
Accompanied by
続きまして
Tarek Sui, Technical Delegate of the World Para Athletics.
世界パラ陸上競技連盟技術代表
Bronze medalist representing Croatia,
銅メダリストクロアチア
Denny Cerny.
Denny Cerny, 28 years of age, from Croatia, 5th at the World Championships a couple of years ago. And he put it out 11:25 today, a season best for him. This was a close competition, only 12 centimetres between first and third.
Representing Algeria,
銀メダリストアルジェリア
Kamel Kojana.
Kamel Kojana of Algeria, 11:34, and also a season best. Kojana, he's 40 years old, from Oran in Algeria. He was a winner in Beijing and London, second in Rio. So 2 gold and a silver, and now another gold. So make that, sorry, another silver. What's he got then? 2 gold, 2 silver. I'll get the maths right in a minute.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Morocco,
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンモロッコ
Zakaria Dera.
Morocco having a pretty good last session. Zakaria Deram throwing 11:37, so he won it by 3 centimetres from Kajenia. From Tangier.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Morocco.
皆様モロッコ国歌の演奏です
It's still a funny thing that we cry when we're happy. I mean, we all do it, and he couldn't hold back the tears. He must be so proud. He just think of the journey that he's been on to reach this moment.
Yeah, and again, they'll only really know too the journey they have been on, and I guess sometimes too it's the people in the background, we forget that, the family members, the coaching, the community that have picked them up when they've been down and been there. And
Oh, nobody gets to this point without a huge amount of support.
yeah. And the thing is too with athletes, and you know, athletes through the training regimes can get grumpy, and of course when you're grumpy you tend to take it out on those closest to you, and they sort of understand, and then when you come to these moments, it's all that relief and all those emotions, and those tears are acknowledgement of all those people in the background.
I'm sure he was thinking of them. Zakaria Derham, Kamel Kajena and Denny Cerny. Gold, silver and bronze. Men's F33 shot put.
Well, just one more medal ceremony to come here at the Olympic Stadium. Day 11, Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games, and that will then just be the marathons to come on day 12. Tell you what though, don't have them in shot at the moment, but as we pan around I can tell you what, the entire Italian team by the looks of it are down to our right hand side getting ready for the next medal ceremony, because it'll be incredibly unique. So that is the back straight of this track on the opposite side from where we are.
Stadium so central in Tokyo. The rebuilding of it a few years ago must have been interesting and quite chaotic for the people in the surrounding streets and suburbs.
But knowing the Japanese and knowing the way they do things, it'll be done with such proficiency too, though. Just really, really organised, incredibly hard workers.
The use of timber, I just love it in this stadium, as it was in the Ariake Gymnastics Stadium as well. And here we go. Una, due, tre.
Now the medal ceremony for the women's 100 metres T63. Remarkable moment for the nation of Italy. No, it's not an optical illusion. It is, in fact, 3 different athletes from the same country. It's Italy, it's Italy, and it's Italy.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
Luca Pancali, governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee.
国際パラリンピック委員会理事
Accompanied by
続きまして
Tarek Sui, technical delegate of World Para-Athletics.
世界パラ陸上競技連盟技術代表
Bronze medalist representing Italy,
銅メダリストイタリア
Monica Graziana Contrafatto.
And it is a bronze medal for Monica Graziana Contrafatto, the veteran amongst the Italians. 40 years of age. Bronze medal in Rio.
Silver medalist representing Italy,
銀メダリストイタリア
Martina Caironi.
And the silver medal goes to Martina Caironi, 31 years of age. She won the 100 metres in London. She won the 100 metres in Rio. Current European champion. A silver medal on the biggest stage of them all, the Paralympic Games.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Italy,
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンイタリア
Amal Ambra Sabatini.
And just 19 years of age, Ambra Sabatini. She only took up the sport in 2020. Her hero, well, he was the first man to break 4 minutes for the mile, the great Roger Bannister. What makes this performance so remarkable is she set a new world record of 14.11 seconds.
What a thrill for Luca Pancali to be presenting the medals too. 1, 2, 3 for the Italian sports administrator.
Oh, it's a unique moment to have 3 athletes from one country in an individual event, and all of them now will get to enjoy their own national anthem, the national anthem of Italy, on an historic day. Well, what a moment for 19-year-old Ambra Sabatini. What a moment for the nation of Italy. Sabatini's club, GS Fiamme Gialli. Her coach, Jacopo Boscarini, and Gianluca Miglior. Congratulations to them. Her philosophy for Ambra Sabatini: the harder the fight, the greater the triumph. It is Italy gold, silver and bronze in the women's T63 100 metres. They are not raindrops, they are tears of joy.
Might be a small party in the Italian rooms, socially distancing, I'm sure, but they'll be happy campers.
Well, really, really cool way to end what has been a remarkable 11 days of track and field. Tokyo 2020, and still the marathons to come.
That's teamwork. It's a good shot. They could only have hoped that it might turn out like this. Certainly worked for it.
Well, it's going to be a big challenge, isn't it, for other nations? 3 years till Paris to try and knock the Italians off. I'm sure they'll beat the party celebrations on the dais, whatever happens, though. Well, I'll let you sum it up, Steve Rebellion.
Well, we'll see what's happening here. We sometimes get a little summary at the end of a couple of the field events. But whatever happens, as the rain eases off and the good people here at the stadium get it ready for tomorrow, leave you a little montage here. So the track and field program all but comes to a close. Just the marathons to be held on the streets of Tokyo tomorrow. And my last turn behind the microphone, I just want to say how much we enjoy delivering these pictures, this entertainment, this information to you. I hope you've drawn great pleasure and that it's been a good distraction for you in these difficult times. And we wish you all the best in the future and that you can enjoy the marathons tomorrow. We say goodnight from the National Stadium in Tokyo.